righty. We saw a segment where MJF's lawyer has locked himself in his room. He will not come out of the closet. MJF is good enough to make this work. If it was the only Gaga on the show, it would register and it would get over. It was still the best done Gaga on the show. He has Wardlow kick the door down and brings the lawyer out, puts him up against the wall and says he will wrestle Moxie or he'll go in the wood chipper.
It's my wood chipper.
Did he pay you royalties on that?
He's been using some of your nicknames. Now he's using the wood chipper.
You're the king of the wood chipper. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. You know, you believe him, the people around the periphery of him, sometimes they, you know, whatever, but you believe him. And if it was the only Gaga, that would work. But it's like these amateur bookers do angles in every segment because they like angles, but then they have no angles because every segment's an angle. Then therefore there is no such thing as an angle. It's an angle. It needs to be a deviation from the norm. They set their baseline at floor it and wonder why nothing sticks. Anyway, Jon Moxley, Stone Cold Cosplay himself, is going to be in the main event against Mark Sterling, the lawyer of MJF. According to the contract that he bamboozled him into signing last week when I said they should put the lawyer through the table and then MJF should have DDT'd Moxley. Moxley came from the parking lot. I put the watch on this too. His entrance took over 2 minutes to walk through an empty parking lot, into an empty arena, and down empty aisleways to get in an empty ring. What great television. This whole thing was done completely for laughs. The whole match, the mixed match, the manager match versus the wrestler, whatever, it was done completely for laughs instead of heat. Mark Sterling stole my wardrobe ideas with all the pads, but not my talent.
He stole his wardrobe from Super Dave Osborne.
Yeah, but I mean, he had all the pads on and everything, and I can't bitch about anybody's outlandish wrestling outfits, and the lawyer shouldn't be in a wrestling outfit anyway, just like the manager shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. But they couldn't be serious even with this, even with Moxley, Mr. Violence, Mr. Puncture myself with a thumbtack because I'm fucking weird and socially maladjusted. And I'm like everybody else that appreciates this kind of thing. I have some dark fucking problems that causes me to cry in my room a lot. I don't know what this audience is. But they actually had Moxley show the lawyer how to make a fist. Did you see that?
Yep.
Garvin didn't do that for me. I draw this parallel to my own career because I've got personal experience. I, as a manager, had to have a match with a fucking badass wrestler. Ronnie Garvin, something of a 80s, 70s version of Jon Moxley. The guy with the fucking hands of stone, the knockout punch, no-nonsense guy, liked to fucking twist people up into goddamn pretzels and inflict pain. Didn't go for any ha-ha bullshit. Garvin, Moxley, a little similar. I was a fucking manager, a weasel, a coward, ineffectual physically. So after I set his face on fire and we have the fucking match, and we sat down in Charlotte for him to tell me the way it was going to go because I wasn't going to open my fucking mouth. He didn't say, well, now the first thing, I can't do his accent. The first thing is I'm going to show you how to make a fist because you're a pussy. And then we'll make the people laugh. No, here's what he said. He sat down, he said, okay, because it was a cage match. And Dusty had already said, here's the way we're going to get into it. Cornette, you're going to come out with your arm in a fucking sling and a note from your mother that you can't fucking wrestle, and the Midnight Express can take your place. But when Garvin hears that, he's going to go, fuck you bullshit, and the Rock and Roller are going to come and fucking throw you in the cage and slam the door. And then you guys work it out. And that's when Ronnie Garvin said to me, as soon as you see me, you shit your pants, and you start trying to climb out of the cage. And I'm going to go up, I'm going to grab you by the pants, I'm going to jerk you down. When I do, I'm going to jerk half your pants off. And I'm going to fucking throw them down, and you're going to take the fucking bump, and I'm going to bump you around a couple of times. You're going to try to get away from me again. I'm going to grab that goddamn sling you've had, and I'm going to wrap it around your neck. I'm going to try to choke the life out of you and squeeze your britches full. And when the referee drags me off of you, when I'm bitching at him and about to knock him out. You go in your fucking knee brace and you get the powder and you throw it in my eyes. I'm blind. I can't see. And as I'm reaching around now, you're fucking shitting yourself because I'm going to kill you unless you do something. So you go in your pocket and you get the brass knucks. Then you fucking punch me right in the fucking head. I'm going to get color. And he got color for me. And now the worm has turned and the people are like, what the fuck's going on here? Cornette's beating up Ronnie Garvin. And he gets the fucking juice. And then I hit him a couple more times with the goddamn knucks. And then the referee gets the knucks away from me. And then I start hammering him on his back. And he sells long enough to get the people rumbling. And then he starts bowing up. And then finally he's selling nothing. And he looks at me with the fucking wide eyes and the powder and the blood. And I fucking put my hands up and I scream, no, God, please no. And he fucking hits me with the punch and knocks me fucking flat. And then he stands over me and he grabs me by my hair and he pulls my head up and punches me in the head again. He won't let me get up to my feet. He's already punched me. I can't get on my feet, but he can beat the dead horse. He pulls my head up and punches me. I go down. He pulls my head up and punches me. I go down. Light as a feather each time. From my vantage point, it looked like he was going to murder me. He looked like an insane lunatic. Couldn't feel a goddamn thing. Then he gets on top of me with both hands and he starts choking me. Because he's going to fucking choke me until I'm dead. Because he's flipped. But the goddamn thing is, the referee sees my shoulders are down. He's choking me. Garvin, he doesn't realize I'm covered. The referee counts to fucking 3. And Garvin didn't mean to beat me. He wanted to kill me. Now he's mad. He's chasing the referee because the referee has brought his fun to an end. And the door opens and the Midnight Express hits. And there's a big schmoz with the baby faces. And they drag my carcass out of there. You don't show the fucking heel manager how to make a fist and then give him a free shot if he's been involved in fucking anything that made you in any way mad or hurt you. So Moxley showed that everybody involved in this was a fucking joke and not to be treated seriously.
If I could bring up something, Jim, to use your prior example, by the time Jim Cornette got into the ring with Ronnie Garvin, those fans couldn't wait to see Jim Cornette get his ass kicked.
That's why it drew fucking $70,000 in Charlotte with that as a main event, because they were paying to see me be put in the hospital.
Did you ever do it after 3 weeks of being on TV and being shown to be ineffectual?
No, I did it. I'd been on TV at that point for a couple of years, and to be showed as completely ineffectual physically. But my team had heat because I was a prick that cheated behind people's backs. And the whole appeal of Garvin getting me in the ring was because this time it's face-to-face and one-on-one and justice will be served. So, yes, you are supposed to be ineffective, but not stupidly, comedically ineffective. Realistically ineffective.
We were just introduced to this character. Why are we supposed to care to see him in the ring?
Well, no,
with Jon
we don't.
Moxley?
Because the amateur bookers that put this shit together have seen this other stuff that I'm talking about, and it's like Russo. You just retain moments and spots rather than context and meaning. And they say, oh, this is the way you're supposed to do it. And then the manager acts like that, and then the wrestler acts like that. And the whole thing is, it was slow-paced. It was horrible. It didn't go anywhere. And then Sterling eye pokes Moxley and hams it up. Woohoo! And what the fuck? No, if you're really scared, poke the motherfucker in the eye and try to get out of there. I was always fearing for my life. This is staged acting. Then the lawyer got clotheslined, took a perfect wrestler's bump over the top rope. And Moxley, since he's a garbage wrestler at heart, couldn't even use the ring for the lawyer. He had to throw him out on the floor and cover him up with guardrails and hit him with a shoe and do all the fucking garbage indie wrestling stuff out on the floor and then throw him in the ring and DDT him. 1, 2, 3, the worst fucking wrestler versus manager match ever. And then they changed the tone. And I'll tell you why this was a wonderful piece of business in completely the wrong place. Wardlow comes in and kills Moxley. Boom. And then MJF comes out and tosses the walker aside, and he's fine, and he beats the shit out of Moxley. And he got serious, legitimate heat on Moxley like a real asshole would. And then a big punch with his ring, and Moxley got juice and good juice, which is another reason why Pippi Longstocking shouldn't have bled in fucking Jericho's remake of Spinal Tap earlier. Because that meant nothing. This is where you needed the fucking blood. They've already seen blood on the show. Blood from a fucking goof job guy. Not blood from a main event guy. You've diminished the impact of Moxley having his head busted wide open. And this guy's going to cut himself on fucking national television, and you've got some fucking amusement park reject earlier in the show bleeding first. What fucking amateurs? Anyway, this got serious. This should have had people trying to stop it. Should have been referees, agents, whatever. This is the place for something like that. But you got Wardlow to play King of the Hill and MJF on top of Moxley, and Moxley actually sold. So suddenly a heck of a wrestling angle broke out as soon as MJF appeared on the stage. However, I say this with all due respect for MJF's talents, not even he could save this, because what the fuck? You can't just flip a switch and decide that we're comedy 1 second, we're drama the next segment. This is all fake. Obviously, we're even winking on camera, but this part of the shit's serious or serial. If Mel Brooks and Harvey Korman did the most brilliant dramatic scene in the history of acting at the end of Blazing Saddles, would you still cry? That's a question for you, Brian Last.
No, I would not.
Exactly. So this psychopathic, schizophrenic, psychotic, amateur booking that's all over the page that nobody knows even how to fucking react to it, because half the shit's serious, half of it's not, half of it's goofy, talent's all over the page, there's no focus. Just remember that. If goddamn Harvey Korman and Mel Brooks did the most brilliant dramatic scene out of Shakespeare that has ever been acted at the close of Blazing Saddles, nobody's still gonna fucking cry. There is talent on this program, and there is shit talent on this program. There are good things that people do, and there's a lot of bad shit, but there's no focus, and there's no leadership, and there's no attempt to make any normal person a fan of this. If you're not already part of the just under a million that for whatever reason likes the goddamn young fucks and their whole crew of exposing the business from backyards to the big leagues, if you're not one of those people, they're not trying to get you to watch. And believe me, you do not want to watch this program if you are not one of those people that somehow thinks that wrestling is what they started doing 5 years ago and not what has been done in the previous 120 before that. I was disgustified. Here's another thing. MJF probably ain't going to win this belt. I bet you he's not. I'll bet it with my bookie, which is exactly why he should have looked like he was going to on every single television show. Don't wait till goddamn 5 days before and get the heat. Get the heat a month out. Give the babyface little teases of getting even and little fucking bones that you throw him, and then get some more heat right beforehand. When the babyface is an established star at a much higher exposure level and for a longer period of time than his heel challenger, you need to put that babyface in the Jeopardy position. You need to make it look like, for whatever reason from the start, that the babyface champion is in over his head. That's how you put credibility in the heel challenger. And then, because you ain't going to switch the belt when the fucking heel gets foiled in just the nick of time or just by the fucking cunt hair of a fucking second, babyface still goes over and lives to defend the title another day, and you've built a heel that looked like he was going to win the title and almost did. What they've done here is, for the past month, they have made MJF look like a fucking long shot at best to ever fucking beat Moxley under any circumstances, and they tried to give him a lawyer to fucking get an advantage contractually, and they had him doing the fucking... I'm sure he didn't want Moxley to just beat him up every week. That may have been the alternative, because that's all these people have in their minds, is just angle. So at least that way he got to cut a lot of promos with his campaign, but god damn it. Put some credibility in the fucking heel. Get him major heat at the start. Refresh it every week. Let your babyface have some hope spots and almost get it, but another strong fucking set of heat going into the match. And then put your babyface over in the end after a long one, and you've made a new heel, and you've still got a babyface champion. But this is too far over their fucking head. So I'm disgusted and I'm finished. There you go.
Okay. That was AEW. The go-home show. And
I love MJF. Hey, you know what? If they put the belt on him, I'll eat those. I'll save those notes. I won't tear them up, because if they put the belt on him, I'll eat the notes. Then they may have done something right.
You're going to eat them?
I'll eat them if they put the belt on MJF. I'll eat them right here on the air next week.
On the air, you'll eat the notes?
If they put the belt on MJF. But, you know, I knew it was lost last week it's all being catered to the baby faces. Except for Jericho, of course. Jericho was known from widespread television and 20 years of an epic career. Moxley's been known under another name by a smaller audience, but whoever's been watching TV the last fucking 8 or 10 years knows, you know, these guys are known outside that little small indie bubble. So anytime you bring guys into their orbit, you have to fucking bring those guys up to that level of mainstream stardom by making them look competitive. Of course, you have to pick the right talent. You can't make the fucking guy from the fucking Jiffy Lube in Easton used to fucking wear pajamas and play lucha wrestler. You can't fucking put him against Chris Jericho no matter what you do. People are going to go, what the fuck? But if you've got a guy like MJF or some of these guys like Starks or Cage or whoever, the guys that can actually, Archer, after the way he got over last week, if they'd have done that first, you put them in against fucking mainstream stars, they have to be competitive, and the star has to look like the underdog. Even if they win in the end, they got to be portrayed as the underdog. The Johnny and the Devil fucking syndrome. I've said enough. If they ain't learned now, they ain't going to. I should charge for this.